Hello, high school football fans. I'm Joe Medley from East Alabama Sports Today here at Jacksonville High School with first-year Jacksonville coach Jeremy Sullivan. This is I think the 12th of our visits throughout the county as we go through all the football playing schools in the county and touch base with everybody and talk about the season to come. And of course, Jacksonville tonight is part of that big jamboree out at Ohatchee. They're going to be out there with Alexandria, Ohatchee, Asheville's in that mix. I'm trying to remember all the other teams that are there. Piedmont's in that mix. That's going to be a good group to go see. Starts at 4:45 tonight, and you guys play at 5:40 and 6:30.
We play at 6:30 and 7:30.
6:30 and 7:30. Okay, so we get a good look at some of the best teams in the county out there tonight. If you go to the Creek Bank and see some good football. But what are you hoping to see out there tonight?
Well, I'm hoping that we can. I'm just excited to see the kids compete against somebody else. You know, this will be my first time seeing them in pads against somebody else, and so I'm excited to see how someone perform. With the real bullets flying, and under the pressure of a game situation against another team when they don't know exactly what's coming, and so I'm excited to see how someone perform tonight.
What's your sense of things? What's your sense of the way this team's developing so far?
Well, I really like our kids. We got some great kids. They work hard. They do what we ask them to do. We got a lot of guys doing some new things this year. We really only brought back 2 starters on offense from last year. So we got a lot of guys that hadn't played a whole lot of football on offense, but they're working hard. They're doing their best to get ready, and I don't know how that'll translate into wins and losses on the field, but it sure is fun to coach them. They show up every day, they work hard, do what we ask them to do, and have a good attitude about it. And so it's really been an enjoyable group to coach. I have a lot of fun being around those kids.
Jacksonville, of course, had several all-county players last year. About half of them graduated, and half of them are still here. Kamori Harmon is an interesting one. He's moving to quarterback. Kind of give us a sense of how he's developing and what kind of look that gives you offensively.
Well, he's a really athletic kid, so obviously he's going to have to, use his legs some, and he does a good job throwing the ball. He's a smart kid, makes good reads. We kind of moved him there. He really hadn't played quarterback until this summer, so it's definitely been a learning curve for him, and he's had to kind of get used to the position, and it's going to be different being in a game situation. I'm really glad we got this jamboree to kind of work out some of the kinks with him and give him a chance to play that position in a game setting. But he's just been great. He's really worked hard. He came in every day of summer workouts. He would come in about 45 minutes early to meet with the quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator, watch film, learn the offense. He's been all in, and I hope he has a great year, and I look forward to seeing what he can do on the field in a live situation.
And this was very much a running team last year behind a veteran offensive line. Running back Zay English and Ty Ellis are not back this year, but you have some new guys coming in. PJ Holloway transferred from White Plains. You got Quay McNeil, who was an all-county player as a defensive back last year, playing running back, and then Kelvin Hughley who transferred from Ohatchee. Just what kind of look do they give you?
Well, we have another one in there, Jaden Jones, who played more defense last year. But Quay and Jaden and Kelvin and with Trenton Jackson plays some running back. We have about 5 guys that I really like at running back. All those guys are going to be able to do some things for us. We're going to have some formations and personnels where we get a lot of them on the field at the same time. So that's something that we've been developing as we went along. And they run the ball hard. They have great vision. I tell our offensive line all the time, if we can just get a hat on a hat, we got a chance with those guys toting the ball. And I really look for Quay to have a really special year, and I hope our offensive line can give him just enough room to get started, and after that he can take care of it himself. But we're looking forward to seeing him.
And then of course, in any team that wants to run the ball, that offensive line, which well, is very important. You got all-county center Ben Pridgeon is back from last year, but if memory serves, the other 4 positions you need to find new guys, right?
Well, Sigler's back at left guard, so
okay.
we have Sigler at left guard, Pridgeon at center, who have been there, they're both there last year, and they've done a great job of leading those guys. And as we try to develop some depth and some younger guys, and I really like how it's shaping up. I think we're, early on we're gonna have to. There's gonna be a little adjustment period, but I think as the season goes, we'll get better and better up there. There's really a hard-working group of kids who have, they've really bought in to trying to be the best unit they can be, and they're just. I've been coaching offensive line this year, first time I've done that in about 8 years, and I have absolutely loved it. So we meet in the morning times on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we had a great meeting yesterday morning, and I actually found them some donuts and brought to them, and we had donuts and film, and even the quarterback came in and joined us. But they're such a great group to be around, and they enjoy being around each other, and they're close, and I feel like we're taking the right steps to become a cohesive unit up there, and play together and work as a unit and trust each other, the other people beside us.
Of course, Jeremy was an All-American offensive lineman at Jacksonville State. Since you were hired here, I've heard stories of you kind of picking up guys and depositing them on the ground a few times.
Well, that may be the case, but that's a lot of years ago. I was hitting the head so many times. I'm not sure I remember all that, but I had a lot of fun playing it. I wish I could line up with this group and play, because they're some good kids, and I'd enjoy playing with them.
We've seen film clips of Nick Saban working with the defensive backs, which he was in college. What's it like with you when you get down there and with those guys, those big linemen?
If I could make the same money as the head coach and just be an offensive line coach, that's all I would ever do. I love it, absolutely love it. It's something about being an offensive lineman, like we're not going to be in the paper. Nobody's going to know if we did a good job except maybe me and maybe their mom. Like their mom's always going to tell them they did good. So I don't even know if that counts, but you got to take great pride in being able to physically move another human being to a spot they don't want to be in, which is, and it's a physical, violent world in there in the trenches. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit in love with it. I always have been, I guess. But it is. I love being down there working with them, and I wish I was as good a coach as Nick Saban. But I try to do the best I can and try to teach them a little of what I've been around. A lot of great coaches in my life that especially offensive line guys that I've stole a bunch of stuff from, and so just trying to pass that on to them. And they're like sponges, man. They eat it up, and I can see on film them trying to do what we're teaching them to do. So that's really all you can ask for. They play hard, they try to finish, and hopefully we can carry that over into the night and into all the season.
Little secret to those who don't know a whole lot about football. Usually the offensive line group is the smartest group on the team, right?
They're pretty smart now. We got a pretty. I would feel good about them in a Scholars Bowl competition. Now, if we were in a beauty pageant, I don't know about that, but Ben's a super smart kid, and Finn Jennings, who's going to be playing left tackle for us, and Cadle's a super smart kid, and Corbin Watts is. We're some super smart guys up there. Like Ben's a 30+ ACT guy, and he's, man, that kid, I love coaching him. He has been, when I first took this job, Jimmy Ogle, who used to be here, who's at Murray State now, he called me and he said, "Let me tell you what, you got a center there named Ben that you are going to absolutely love," and he was right. He's tough, he's hard-nosed. If you look at him just walking around the school, you probably wouldn't think that he was the starting center on the football team. He also plays basketball. He's really athletic. He's so smart. He's super smart. He asks questions all the time in the meetings, and I think he's like trying to ask questions for the other kids too that are a little scared to raise their hand. So he's just a great leader and just a great young man. And I have really loved getting to know him and look forward to spending his senior season with him.
Basketball, he plays center as well, and he's not just a body in there. He's got some post moves.
Yeah, he's a player. I watched him play a couple times this summer. He's good, really good.
We haven't talked about the defense. Just how are things looking on that side of the ball?
Well, we brought a lot of guys back on defense. We kept the defensive coordinator, Coach Owens, Brian Owens, who was here before. We added Taylor Hayes over on that side of the ball, who had a lot of experience from Hoover and Leeds, and he was a phenomenal player in high school on the offensive side. But I really think we're we got a chance to be pretty good on defense. You know, I think we're pretty good at linebacker. We're good up front, solid in the secondary. Got a lot of guys over there who have played a lot of football, and you know, so I think we have a chance to be pretty competitive on defense. I'm really excited to see us play against somebody else. We're fast, we're physical. You know, I think our guys are going to do a great job of playing with high energy and high effort. We're about 2 deep on the defensive line, which is kind of unusual. We got plenty of linebackers that we can roll through there. So, you know, there's really no excuse for us not, you know, playing hard all the time and getting to the football and playing with great effort. And, you know, a lot of times on defense, if you're sound and line up in the right place, have your eyes in the right place, and then play with great effort, you got a chance to be pretty good. And I really expect our guys to do that.
You're an 11th year head coach. You know, Ben Stewart's been a head coach, your offensive coordinator. Alfonso Freeney obviously was a head coach before coming here. Are there any I'm missing in that bunch?
Or any
with head coaching experience?
Gary Hatchley.
Gary,
Yeah, Gary's been a head coach over in Georgia, and then at Weaver maybe.
Yeah, softball and
yeah. Well, he's been a football head coach in Georgia, I think, at Cedartown or somewhere in that area. I think. Okay. I think he spent a few years as a head football coach, so he brings, you know, a lot of experience to the table.
I've known Gary a long time. He never told me that.
Yeah, I think he was the head coach in Georgia at one time, but he is he's done a good job for us, and you know, I love hiring former head coaches. At Boaz, I was extremely lucky. At one time, I had 4 or 5 on my staff at one time, and you know, I just think that experience of having to sit in they know what kind of decisions I have to make every day, and you know, the doing this kind of stuff, and you know, just all kind of different things that as a head coach you have to do, and so they're a lot more mindful of taking care of other things, you know, and I've just really had really good luck with it. And I'm a guy that, you know, I don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. Now I feel secure in my football knowledge. I don't think that you know, that I don't know enough, but you know, I want guys that bring something different and new, and you know, they've learned stuff in different places that they can add to our staff. And you know, I think especially with head coaches, you get some things, you know, they make suggestions sometimes that are really, you know, extremely helpful, you know, and help keep me on the right track, and in all kind of different areas, on the field, off the field, you know, scheme, dealing with player issues, dealing with, you know, fundraising, or, you know, just all kind of stuff that they have insight on that somebody that's never been a head coach just doesn't have.
Jeremy, good luck this season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you doing this. If you haven't seen me do the awkward come around, go back around and turn it on and off, it's because my producer, Miss Amelia Medley, who is a sophomore here at Jacksonville, is on the case today. So we get to sit here with Jeremy all the way through this thing. But thanks everybody for joining us. I will be at Pleasant Valley tomorrow morning, and then Piedmont on Monday, and then it's game week. So football, it's here. See you everybody.